Today we will be working on, as of right now, working vehicle. Welcome. We will be working on my E39, which is, as of right now, in horrible condition.
Yeah.
In horrible shape.
Let's pop the hood.
We will be working on the cooling system.
Yeah.
We pretty much left it as it was when I bought the car.
Yeah.
We only fixed the necessary issues. The vacuum leaks all around the engine. As you can see, the expansion tank is just held with zip ties. And also the fan cover is damaged. We will keep the radiator original since it was changed before I bought the car. And it seems that it's in good condition.
First, we're gonna let it cool down because it's up to temp. Then we will start to dismantle the cooling system. We will drain the coolant. Then we will remove this cracked plastic, whatever it is, cover. We will remove the expansion tank and all the hoses. But I'm afraid that today it's gonna take us more time than I estimated because this car has the infamous clutch fan and there's a reverse thread on it, but I think it will be stuck. The belt will slip, so we have to fabricate a holder tool. So yeah, we will see.
I am prepared that I will not leave the garage today with my BMW, so I have spare car. But first we need to check if we have all the right parts.
Yeah.
Because we did the order like about 2 weeks ago, about a week ago. I think this is just the coolant.
Coolant, yeah. Coolant hard line. Both of them, of course, would go underneath the intake manifold. Coolant hoses from the thermostat. We went with Gates because, if I remember correctly, I used Fabi ones and they're okay. They've been holding up for almost 5 years now and more than 100,000 kilometers on my 323i. But the connectors here were really tight and hard to fit on the radiator. So we're gonna try Gates, who knows, water pump, INA. It doesn't matter if you use Melee or INA, Fabi or whatever. You have to change it after a few years because the plastic impeller is not a problem. The problem are the bearings because they're gonna create a free play sooner than you will have problems with plastic impeller. At least that was the case with my Melee with aluminium impeller, and the water pump was a piece of shit. So now I went also with INA because it has FAG bearings inside. They are higher quality than Melee, I think.
We have the expansion tank here,
ET.
which I changed on E46 like twice, I think already. Once when I bought the car and once when I crashed again.
Yeah.
And now I'm changing it on the E39.
It's funny when you see it. It's the first time I'm doing this kind of a job on a E39. I'm familiar with E46. The difference in design, you have no outlets from here, but instead of that they are on the bottom. This is the overflow connection. There's the bleeder cap, which is not included in the set, which is kind of funny, but we will use the old one. It's not a big deal. But other than that, yeah, I think it will hold up for a few years.
Yeah, and what about the stuff which holds the expansion tank? About the little plastic stuff?
The bracket, yeah?
Yeah.
I think we didn't order the bracket, so we're gonna reuse the old one. We will see where's the problem. And if anything,
Here
then,
is the problem, I think.
if anything, then we will repair it in the next session because we forgot about the bracket, of course. Yeah, shit happens.
But we will see. Maybe this will be the least of our problems.
And it's a little bit funny because it wasn't up until now that I've realized that this car has the Visco fan instead of the E-fan. I hate this type of fans because they are really hard to remove.
Okay, and the last part which I have in the box is just the... I bought some wiper blades because it's kind of tricky to buy wiper blades because there is this, let's say, special adapter. It's not just the quick release one. Well, it is quick release, but it's some kind of old stuff, and I'm not sure if this is correct. If not, I will return this and I will buy another one. It looks like we have the correct, the wiper blades, the correct length.
Yeah, I don't know why, but getting the right sized wiper blades on the E39 here where we live is a very strange thing. You can buy wiper blades for E46, but there is not enough stock for E39 wiper blades.
And this is the best part. If you manage to crack this plastic piece of shit, like it is on the other side already cracked, then you are out of luck. Yeah, it just goes down. Yeah, I think this is okay.
You remove the protective cover.
Yeah, once I changed my wiper blades on another car, and I was like, fuck, it doesn't work, it's much worse than the old ones. But the protective part was just clear, not green like this. So then I managed to figure it out in like 5 minutes. You will see that this part is cracked. It was cracked already when I bought it, and
Part of the plastic missing.
yeah. So I think this will be much easier to take out, but also to lose. Yeah, I just always pray that in high speeds this won't take off on its own, like my or Milan's bonnet.
They do like to
Fly
take
away! If someone from the BMW sees this video, it's really stupid idea to mount wiper blades like this.
The real struggle. Just wait till we're gonna tackle the Visca fan.
Or is it locked like this?
This is
now?
just the warm-up.
It should be unlocked here and then... Ja nie wiem, fakt. Nie ma z toho do piči.
And this is the exact same reason I hate working on those areas of the car, like for example interior trims, all the brackets, plastic that always break. Instead, I like working on the engine, the drivetrain.
Ty na to jebe.
Because I always manage to break something.
I lost the slider.
Ooh. Maybe.
Okay, I'm not gonna touch it anymore.
Looks that it's gonna work.
Yeah, let's try it, and also then I need to clean out the nozzles as well. Somehow the left one from the driver's side.
It's dirty, it's clogged.
Okay, let's hope for the best.
Yeah, one of the nozzles is clogged. As you can see, it's plugged up because every nozzle has two nozzles in it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, the wiper blades are working good,
Yeah.
or at least better than the old ones. So that job done. Okay, let's continue.
Holy zip ties. I would like to remove this cover, but I think it goes deeper down. It's not just on the top.
Should we drain the coolant first?
Yeah, and just then we will be able to remove fan cover. Basically can't go up because the fan will hit its lower circle portion. We have to drain the water, remove the hoses from the ET back down, remove the expansion tank, and then we have to remove the fan, and it will then move out upwards
With the fan as well.
with the fan. Yeah, it's really weird. I'm gonna go down and look if the actual physical shape of this cover is
U
or O.
I think it's just a U.
If it's U, then you can,
upside
yeah.
down,
Yeah, there is a small plastic cover or shield, splash shield. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is open?
Yeah.
No.
This is
Another problem.
it's torn or what?
It's crust, yes, and there are two tabs or ears. It's like a bayonet
Yeah.
lock, and they are there. So we're gonna need at least a new plug.
Is it the same from E46 or no?
No.
Okay.
Those
so
are the those are the things that you have to
expect.
sort on the run, or expect that something's gonna go differently than you plan. Not a big deal.
Can I pull?
This has to move to the side.
As you can see, guys, this is the problem.
Yeah. Now it should pull right up and up. Or no. Oh yeah, now things. Yeah.
But which one is it?
I think the one on the
Because-
driver's side.
Just a second.
Now we need to move it. Yeah. All right. Very
It's
nice.
cracked all the way around.
Awesome.
Job
Now-
well done.
I'm gonna remove the cold side, the radiator hose.
We probably even don't need this, or do we? Maybe we can just find some better one.
I did a visco fan removal on my friend's E46 328i. It's build date 1998, so it's one of the first ones, and even though they were manuals, they had a visco fan, and it was stuck there really bad. I wasn't able to loosen it. I tried to squeeze the old belt around the pulley, water pump pulley, and just ended up breaking or chipping off the pulley. So I removed the plastic fan, the center hub stood in place, and then I was able to remove the water pump, and that's what we're gonna do today. Now we're gonna remove both hoses, the fan, and the thermostat and the water pump, and then we're gonna proceed further. Yeah, people like to make fun of all the BMWs that regular maintenance is the engine overhaul, but truth to be told,
It is.
not at all. I'm kind of allergic to those jokes because it's a freaking 25-year-old car. It's done its fair share of kilometers, and now it just needs a new cooling system for a few €100, and it's good for another 10 or so years of service, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
As you can see, that's what I've been talking about. There is the clutch itself, or should I call it the hub. I'm gonna remove this hose. Oh, yeah. Those crusty old hoses. Where's the date? Oh, 98. What a surprise.
This is the original, yeah.
All original because this carries 99. Oi.
So guys, we have tried to somehow loosen up this contraption.
And as you can see,
Not
I knew it's gonna end up this way. But
yeah.
yeah, there is a hole in our power steering fluid reservoir. And yeah, I made the hole by inserting the breaker bar and using it as a
Leverage, yeah.
leverage.
We managed to take down the thermostat.
Yeah. The original one, factory thermostat, 26 years old, and there are two plastic tabs missing because this part of the thermostat, those ears, they have to go inside.
They are held by those arrows.
So that's why it didn't get up to temp, because it was stuck.
So this would be fixed with a new thermostat. Now I need to also buy the power steering
Reservoir.
reservoir, yeah. So
Yeah.
shit happens, but
Uh,
what do you do?
are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's okay.
Well,
You learn along the way. Ah, yeah. Here's the giant piece of shit visco clutch. It's a reverse thread. Sometimes it's stuck there really hard. I don't know why. It's just the age and the heat cycles and just a little bit of rust, let's say. But it's not rust, it's just was there real tight. And that's the thing when installing it back. You just hand tied it. Really, not even snug, just a little bit, because the nature of this is that it tightens itself, because the drag from the fan really acts as a counter force and just tightens it. The good news is that I didn't manage to break the water pump pulley, because
that's good.
My last time I did this on an E46, it ended up with broken water pump pulley. That's the path of the samurai. Now I'm gonna try to remove both serpentine belts, and for this I need a flathead screwdriver. I'm gonna remove a cap. First you need to remove the AC belt. Oh, this driver. This is the Torx 50. You want to tighten as if you were tightening it, and then when you apply the pressure it moves downward, releasing the tension from the belt, and you can then remove the belt somewhere where I can find it. And now you're gonna do the same thing. Here's the tensioner. This car has a spring-loaded tensioner. My 46 has a hydraulic one. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can convert the hydro one to spring-loaded and vice versa, I think. Yeah. Here's the belt.
My dad went at that bad grades.
There should be no visible cracks, and there are not, so this belt is okay to reuse.
Not like power steering reservoir.
Yeah. Whatever.
When we were talking about that we will go into the garage and to work on the E39, I was like, should I
Buy something?
get some spare vehicle?
Yeah.
That if it happens that I won't be able to live with E39, and he was like, probably yeah. So the prophecy boy.
It's not my first rodeo with old BMW, so I knew that it's gonna happen. The one thing you don't know is what exactly is gonna break down.
But you know something is.
Yeah.
We've been thinking about the next progress about the E39, and we figured out that the best way, well, apart from it, that Milan was convincing me that we need to turbo it while it's being worked on.
Yeah.
We figured out that we will continue to disassemble the intake manifold and also the valve cover. We will be working on basically everything what needs fixing.
Yeah. It's better to do this at once while we are in there, because it's been year and a half, or almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. Yeah. When we did the valve cover gasket and the reseal, there's an engine oil right there, and that's because the valve cover is cracked somewhere, and it's a common sight on those cars nowadays, and it would be best to replace this with the aluminum China valve cover. That I did this on my car, and man, that it's Chinese, but it fits well, it's more sturdy, and you can see it when you are tightening all those 16 or I don't know how many bolts are there in those corners right there. It squeezes the valve cover gasket really evenly. The valve cover is plastic, and right here it's lifted up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't leak from this area, but here on the hot side, on the exhaust side, in between those bolts, let's say, it's warped and it leaks oil, and other than that it's cracked somewhere, and I could hear it, the whining noise. It was basically the air entering the valve cover area, the crankcase basically, and it was a vacuum leak. It's like a whistling, high-pitched sound. And just now we noticed this is the main belt tensioner pulley, and as you can see the discoloration, the pulley is, I don't know why, but it sits too much to the front of the car, so that the belt just was sliding on it by its half, or by the half of its width. So we need to remove it and take a look what's going on. The pulley should be flush with this, and it's more to the front of the car. Whoa. So as you can see, I managed to partly remove the intake manifold. Everything's disconnected. There's just one thing that's temporarily holding the intake manifold, and it's the positive terminal cable. Now I should be able to lift it up. I'm gonna remove this is the knock sensor connector. Yeah. That's it. Now I should be able to freely here the bracket. Oh, open this and that's it. Right, as you can see, the intake manifold is removed on the ground. There are two problems that we ran into. Now, apart from the broken reservoir, the first one is my fault. So, the second one today.
About 2 years ago.
When we did the CCV refresh, as you can see here, so three problems. I found the culprit of the whistling sound. Look at that.
There's the new hose, right? Which we changed.
New hose.
It's cracked now.
It's not cracked, but the ring that holds it in place separated from it somehow. And as you can see, now it's free to move inside. There is an O-ring, of course, inside, but I think that the air was able to enter the cyclone separator part. The second problem was when I disconnected this hose. This is the hose that connects to the Y pipe connector on the dipstick tube, and I've got the dipstick tube removed from the engine right here. And upon removal of this hose, this thing was full of gunk. I mean, to an extent that you couldn't even put a screwdriver inside. It was clogged. This is pretty normal on engines that are 20 or more years old and never serviced, so it was this case. But when we did this CCV refresh, I was out of my mind, or I don't know why I didn't do it, but I didn't clean it. Now I remember that, or I don't remember basically cleaning it. So it was my fault. I forgot about this, and I don't know why. Maybe there wasn't enough light inside the garage, so I couldn't see that it was full of gunk. It was more crusty gunk. This is the carbon buildup mixed with oil vapor. And when we installed the new CCV, maybe at first it worked for a little bit, for some time, but after that it just got full of the gunk.
Which you can also see right here.
Yeah,
it looks like forbidden cappuccino or something like this.
Yeah,
but it's much denser and it's like a gooey stuff.
It came from this hose as it was on the car. Lessons learned.
Yeah, that's like third problem. And now let's go to the fourth one. Guys, as you may noticed, or as you probably heard when I was pulling the car into the garage, the car is not starting properly.
You could hear that it cranks over the first time, I mean with, not with ease, but there was like a lot of load to the starter motor. I removed the intake manifold and I was like, wait a minute, what's the gap between the starter and there is like a locating pin basically, and look. Well, yeah, it can move because actually the bolts are loose. It's held in by two bolts, Torx bolts, and they are loose. And I don't know why, because 2 years ago when we did this, we didn't touch the starter motor at all. So yeah, I suspect that the ring gear on the flywheel will be shot, or it will be worn out at an angle, and so will be the Bendix gear on the starter motor. So I think of course we're gonna remove it now, and I think we will need to replace the starter motor. I've got two of them at home. One is my original one from 323i. It can be used, but I've got a new one.
And I would say probably for today it will be it, because I don't know how Milan, but I'm pretty much tired, and tomorrow
Me
we
too.
continue. So meanwhile we need to order some parts,
Of course.
because that way we will be changing, of course, the power steering reservoir, or pretty much all other hoses underneath the cooling, or shall we leave them?
So we're gonna change this one, and the other one is gonna stay in place for a while.
And we should also check this tensioner.
Yeah.
What's the problem with it, because it's not very good. And when you put it like this, I'm really starting to be a little bit more happy that Milan convinced me to overhaul pretty much everything now while we are at it, because I was driving the car like this for probably 2 years or something like this. It was running without problems, just the starting one, when I had to start the car on second time sometimes, because it was like in limp mode when it was just start on the first try, and you could hear that it was starting like 5 seconds or 6 seconds, and then when you just shut the car off and start it again, it started perfectly or much more quicker, and there was no limp mode. So yeah, I was driving the car like it was for 2 years, I think. I am afraid that it would fail on me someday soon, because of the condition which it is in. Of course, the starter, the cooling system was old as well, and everything with the CCV and stuff like this. The clutch as well is very tired, to say the least.
Yeah.
And also then we will change the suspension, because it's not pleasant ride as of right now. We already have the parts in some of those boxes, and also, well, here, which you saw, it was not very comfortable to drive in the winter, because it was always cold, because the thermostat was always open. Okay, so I would say let's maybe check something even more, and then for today we will be finished.
I'm gonna remove the starter and the coolant hardlines, and that's it. Tomorrow we will remove the all filter housing, this one, alternator, and clean everything.
Yeah.
Because it's dirty as hell.